counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. San Francisco. Y'all really were 4th place last year in y'all division. What was it? 6 wins? Oh, 6 wins. They said the Super Bowl window has closed on you guys. They said that's it. They said you guys ain't never going to get healthy again. They must not know what CMC means. They must not know Bosa is damn near a demon. They must not know they got their defensive coordinator, Robert Saleh, back. But the question still stands. Has the Super Bowl window for San Francisco opened again? I got the file. We're going to break it down. Let me know what y'all think. Personally, I think with progression, with upgrades, with understanding how to scheme, and then I remember that San Fran has somebody I like to call a genius in Kyle Shanahan. And Robert Saleh is kind of in that realm. I'm going to go guru, not so much genius. It goes genius, guru. For me, I don't know what it goes for y'all, but that's how it is on this channel here. So what do we think about Robert Saleh coming back to a defense that he once had in the top 3? What do we think about Robert Saleh and these weapons? Well, before we go and look at the 2025 season, because I want to look at the 2025 season, we got to look back. 6-11 last year. 14th offense in points. Defense ranked 29th in points. Jesus. But that's not really why you guys didn't make the playoffs or weren't really competitive as much. There were injuries. And when you lose your workhorse in CMC, even though you gained another one in Jordan Mason, it's tough. And then Jordan Mason goes down, and you guys are having to change the offense and what you guys expected. So do you guys get a pass? Not really. Brock takes a lot of the blame because, as the rule says, you get most of the credit when you win at quarterback, and you take most of the blame when you lose. But he doesn't take all the blame by himself. And it's kind of tough when your first-round draft pick also gets shot. He comes back and plays, but dang it, I mean, dude's a tough son of a gun to come back to play after a gunshot, but how good can you be after a gunshot? You got shot, my guy. Woo! They say you don't love the game, huh? We'll find out. Well, after the season that they had, the departures that they had is a list. 3, 6, 9, 12, at least 15 guys left the team of importance. Let's go down the list. Jordan Mason, Deebo Samuels, Leonard Floyd, Jalen Moore, Elijah Mitchell, Dre Greenlaw, Javon Harkins. Didn't y'all just pay Javon Harkins? These names are ridiculous. Tre'Davious Ward, Taloa Hufanga, who was hurt, and you guys did draft well. But let's talk about this draft, because you guys are going to need to draft well again. To lose all these names, to lose Dre, and then to have Campbell as the backup. I remember what he did last year. Hey, I ain't trying to do this no more. I'm out. Peace. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. But then to have that's your new, is he a starter? Is he going to play for y'all? I remember you guys weren't trying to release him because he was expecting to go to another team, and then this happened, and then you guys didn't want to release him. I think he's still on y'all roster. Are you guys just going to leave him there, pay him, and not play him? That's crazy. That's crazy as well, just so y'all know. That's crazy. But John Lynch, y'all GM's John Lynch, and that's my boy. Tampa Bay Bucks defense, that's my boy. So whatever John Lynch said, I'm cool with it. That's neither here nor there, though. Let's look at the additions. Y'all traded for Bryce Huff, who was with Saleh when he had his best career year. Y'all also went out and got a tight end from the Jags. Y'all went out and got Brian Robinson as a just in case for CMC. I loved what B Rob had to say as well at the press conference. I'm here to play as well, and I'm here to compliment him, but I'm gonna compliment him as the best complimentary back in the league right now. Let's be the best 1-2 punch. I love that because now that we've gone through the additions and the subtractions of the team, we have to talk about what this offense can be this year. Christian McCaffrey is a workhorse. Brock Purdy is in a position to become a good, great, potentially top-tier quarterback. I say that simply because his talent is good enough to play in the league, and mentally, after getting a UCL injury and bringing his team to the NFC Championship game, the next year when he was healthy, he walked his team into the Super Bowl. That's a mentality that you can't just grade off how good he throws the ball. I don't care about stuff like that. When you are able to prove your maturity mentally and prove that no matter what happens, I'm here to play, you're going to get credit over here. But now, knowing that your number one receiver is coming off an ACL injury, now knowing that your number one running back, who's also the work engine of the offense, is coming back, I believe Christian McCaffrey played 3 games last year. That's rough. That's rough. Knowing that the offense now depends on Brock Purdy more than it ever has, and they've paid him for it, he's going to need to deliver. And delivering means, personally to me, Brock Purdy, Kyle Shanahan have to go and create a chemistry with the offense. And I can say offensive line, but I'm going to go with the receiving core to start. They need to build a chemistry like Debo had when he was with Jimmy G. They know who to count on. They know how to move. They know how to flow. It's okay. It's going to be unconventional. Whatever Kyle sees to run, he's going to run. He would run Debo in motion and get a handoff in the backfield somewhere. He'd run Debo in motion and get a jet sweep. Whatever Kyle feels to run. I've watched Debo do this in the playoffs and win games in the snow. But you don't have Debo anymore. This is a new offense. And we don't know what pieces in this offense are actually going to be capable of creating their own space. We understand when Ayuk is healthy, he can do that, but ACL injuries on average take half a season to a full season. Next year, we can expect him to know he's 100%, but we're not going to know until week 1. Now, we've heard the news that Stephon Diggs is back and he might be close to 100%, but everybody's body's different. Not everybody got an Adrian Peterson body going to get a crazy injury and come back the next year. I'm an MVP candidate. That don't happen. That's not everybody. So I'm not going to rush or say he's done or not, but it's going to take time to come back. Now, when you look at the rest of the 49ers, when you look at this defense and how it's going to be rebuilt, I told y'all the additions in free agency. Bryce Huff was the only name that I saw of real importance that maybe they could make a difference. But Kyle Shanahan said, hey, I'm making changes. And I'm going to weaponize this defense for you. And I'm going to weaponize this offense for me. Before I get to the defense, I want to get to this point about Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan is in my tiers of genius coaches, especially when it comes to offense. Only when it comes to offense. I don't think Kyle Shanahan knows anything about defense. No offense. But when it comes to offense and it comes to being a schemer, Kyle Shanahan the last couple of years has kind of taken that role on by himself. No offensive coordinator. I got the offense. You got the defense. This is the marriage, and this is how it'll work. Kyle Shanahan went to a Super Bowl like that, so there's no reason to think this style doesn't work. Well, this year, he added an offensive coordinator. This year, he has somebody else who has a position that we know to be of power in this league. Now, how he uses his offensive coordinator is his choice. I don't know how he's going to use him, but he decided to put somebody in that position. There's something Kyle Shanahan wants his offensive coordinator to do that he thinks that it would be helpful to the team. I love that. That is growth. That is understanding where you were last year and understanding your position. Maybe take a little workload off so that we can get back to the genius stuff. Well, now he went out and got his guy who helped him build a solid defense. And what he did was weaponize the defense. In the draft, they went out and drafted pretty much only defense. What does it say? First 5 picks, all defense. 6 of the 8 picks, all defense. This is my note that I wrote. Give Robert Saleh weapons so that they can free up Bosa, who is coming for everybody's head. Free up Bosa to come from everybody's head. No. I'm an Eagles fan, but I know what the scheme is for the San Francisco 49ers defense. I know they got Fred Warner. I know they got a cornerback in Lenore who plays well. I don't want to talk about injury on here, so I know they got Lenore. But what happens when you free up Nick Bosa and you get him weapons? They went out and got their first round pick, a kid who looks like he rushes the passer with reckless abandonment. Reckless abandonment. Well, what does Nick Bosa do on the other side? They went out and got defensive line. They went out and got somebody who they're going to pair with Fred Warner. They went out last year and had a great draft. If the San Francisco 49ers have a good draft this year, it is going to be dangerous. They have now weaponized the NFC to be dangerous. I know everybody loves the quarterback conversation in the AFC, but the NFC is building stacked rosters. They are stacked. When healthy, we didn't even get to start talking about George Kittle, who's probably the best tight end in the game right now. When it comes to talking about this team and talking about a Trent Williams, now the offensive line I am a little bit shaky about, but I do know that Brock has the elusiveness and he has the skill set to move. Now, when they solidify that offensive line, I expect them to be a lot better. I don't know if it's solidified this year. I mean, this year we got questions about San Fran. But the question I don't have is y'all boys better not go back to 6-11. Y'all bet. I don't even care if there's injuries. I don't even care if there's injuries, man. If Brock Purdy's playing, if Shanahan's calling the plays, we giving Saleh a little break? I'm going to give Saleh a little break. If that defense, what were they ranked last year? 29th in points. Jeez. Let's take a look at what Blirt TV has for the San Francisco 49ers regular season schedule. I have them starting off the year with the Seattle Seahawks winning versus the Saints, winning versus the Cardinals, and winning versus the Jaguars, starting off 4-0. Then I have them losing to the Rams, losing to the Bucks, beating the Falcons, and beating the Texans. That gives them 6-2. After the Texans, I have them beating the Giants, beating the Rams, beating the Cardinals, beating the Panthers, beating the Browns, beating the Titans, beating the Colts, beating the Bears. As you can see, I highly respect the San Francisco 49ers. And ending the season off because they bench all their players, I'm going to say they're going to lose to the Seahawks. So our projections for the 2025 San Francisco 49ers is 14-3. That might be the best team in the league. Now, yes, last year because they had a bad record, they got a nice little helpful schedule. But that still doesn't mean that they're not dangerous. That does not mean that they're not dangerous. That just means they're giving Kyle Shanahan a chance to actually build with this offense. Do they build? Can they build? Will they build? We'll get to see. Let me know what y'all think about San Fran. I'm interested to hear if people think I'm giving them a little too much. I mean, that offense is weaponized already, and then you got a genius. Am I doing too much? I mean, Saleh was already there, gave him a top 5 defense. And they just gave him 5 weapons that he probably asked for all those guys. Is that too much? Let me know what y'all think. I want to hear what y'all think. But this is Ash with Blirt TV.